Over the years, the human being has been using fossil fuel as main energy consumption. Burning oil and coal has produced the greenhouse effect, due to the pollution generated by the burning of fuel. Nowadays the focus is to find an eco-friendly way of generating energy, to decrease the contamination, and counteract the use of fossil fuels. In this video we're going to review, compare and diagnose the composition of the transport energy matrix of both Chile and Brazil over the years. Both Chile and Brazil use fossil fuel derivatives as main transport energy resource, which are gasoline. Chile has three different types of gasoline octanes, 93, 95 and 97 octanes. The main difference is that the higher the number of octanes the combustion is better, and more efficient. Brazil uses common, additive and premium diesel, which is a fuel oil distillate. It's not as flammable as gasoline, and emits less greenhouse effect gases like carbon dioxide, methane and nitrogen oxide. Natural gas, it's considered the cleanest fossil fuel, because compared to diesel it emits 99% less sulfur oxide, 80% less nitrogen oxide and 40% less carbon dioxide. Electricity, both countries also use electricity in minimum quantities in zero-emissions vehicles. Ethanol, or alcohol, is considered a biofuel used only in Brazil. It is obtained by the process of sugarcane fermentation. It emits carbon dioxide as combustion result, and is considered carbon neutral because when sugarcane grows it absorbs the CO2, creating an offset versus the combustion-generated CO2. Evolution of the Brazilian transport energy matrix. From 2016 to 2019, liquid fossil fuel demand has been decreasing from 76.96% to almost 70%, and ethanol use it's been exponentially growing from 19.36% to almost a quarter of the total energy consumed by transport in Brazil. Natural gas and electricity are growing fast too, but in minor quantities, from being less than 3% of the total energy consumed to almost 5% combined. Evolution of the Chilean transport energy matrix. In Chile, almost the entire transport sector energy consumption is based on liquid fossil fuel. In 2016, 98.89% of the entire transport energy matrix belonged to petroleum derivatives, and the rest, 1.11%, belonged to natural gas and electricity. Over the years the liquid fossil fuel demand decreased marginally. In 2019, 98.77% of the total is still petroleum derivatives, natural gas demand is almost non-existent, and electricity use increased just by 0.25%. In Brazil and Chile the most used fuels are oil derivatives. By these characteristics we can analyze the pollution produced by fossil fuels and the environmental impact. Carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, hydrocarbons, particulate matter and sulfur oxides are materials produced by the combustion in an internal combustion engine. These gases are toxic, and they contribute to the greenhouse effect, acid rain, and particulate matter formation. In Brazil the ethanol when produced generates sugarcane remains that are extremely toxic for the environment, and the amount of lands needed for plantation produce deforestation. Electricity in both countries is generated in great amount by renewable sources, but hydroelectrics also produce negative impacts when they are builded, creating deforestation and flooding wild fauna areas. Analysis of Chile and Brazil transport matrices. The first difference is that Brazil uses more fuel than Chile, and that's because in 2019 there were approximately 45.91 million vehicles in circulation in Brazil, versus 5.5 million vehicles in Chile. That is 9 times more cars in Brazil than in Chile. In both countries the main fuel resource is petroleum. For Brazil is 71.18% of the 2019's energy matrix, and for Chile is more than 98% of the total. Only Brazil uses biofuel known as ethanol, and it's responsible for 24.27% of the energy matrix. Natural gas in Brazil is 4.24% of the energy consumed, and in Chile it's only 0.14%. Brazil only uses 0.31% of electricity as an energy resource, versus Chile, that uses 1.09% of electricity of the transport energy matrix.